This is When Gen X Ruled the Multiplex, in which I look at the films that played some role in the development of those of us who were born in the general range of 1965 to 1980. Several months ago, I looked at a film that was hugely popular among young Gen Xers in the summer of 1985. Back to the Future. Today I'm looking at another film from that summer that achieved unexpected pop cultural relevance by riding the wave of Back to the Future's success. I speak, of course, of Teen Wolf, which, like Back to the Future, starred Michael J. Fox. Teen Wolf was directed by Rod Daniel in his feature debut. The script was written by Matthew Weisman and well-known comic book writer Jeff Loeb, who would go on to write and produce TV shows like Smallville, Lost, and Heroes. A slapdash comedy made with a low budget and even lower expectations, Teen Wolf would become a surprise hit due to a combination of dumb luck and clever positioning. In a high school gym, two basketball teams face off against each other. The utterly incompetent Beacon Town Beavers are getting trounced by the ruthless Dragons. One of the Beavers, a teen named Scott, played by Fox, is desperate to impress a beautiful classmate named Pamela, played by Laurie Griffin. Pamela only has eyes for the captain of the Dragons, cruel and arrogant Mick, played by Mark Arnold. The lackadaisical coach of the Beavers, Coach Finstock, played by Jay Tarses, is realistic about his team's chances. He proposes to the Dragons coach that the Beavers forfeit the game so everyone can get home in time to miss rush hour traffic. In the locker room after the game, we meet Scott's teammates, who include a student named Chubby, played by Pee-wee's Big Adventures Mark Holton, who keeps liverwurst sandwiches stashed in his gym locker. We also meet Scott's best friend Styles, played by Jerry Levine, who these days is an in-demand television director. There's also a brief appearance from a dragon named Lemonade, played by Richard Brooks, Paul Robinette on Law & Order. We also meet perpetually pissy Brad, played by Doug Savant, known for Melrose Place and Desperate Housewives. While changing, Scott notices he's beginning to grow some extra long chest hair, which unsettles him. After the game, Scott complains to his best friend Boof, played by Susan Yersity, about how Pamela ignores him. Boof is secretly in love with Scott, and thus has no patience for his bout of deluded self-pity. Scott works at a hardware store owned by his father Harold, played by James Hampton, known for the 1960s sitcom F Troop. When a kid in the store blows a dog whistle, the sound should be inaudible to human ears, but Scott mysteriously finds it unbearable. Scott delivers some set-building supplies to the school auditorium, where rehearsals are underway for the school play. The only people at the rehearsal are the drama teacher, Mr. Lawley, and his star performer, Pamela. Mr. Lawley is played by Scott Pollan, who played astronaut Deke Slayton in The Right Stuff. Throughout the film, we will see several school play rehearsals, and at every single one, we will only see Scott, Mr. Lawley, and Pamela. This leads me to the inescapable conclusion that the school play is a one-woman show, in which Pamela plays a Southern belle who delivers a monologue about how her plantation has been destroyed by Union soldiers. Bold move, Beacon Town High School Drama Department. Scott, Styles, and their mutual friend Lewis prepare for a big party. Lewis is played by Matt Adler, who would go on to star in the 1987 surf drama North Shore. Scott tries to buy a keg at a liquor store. When the law-abiding cashier refuses on the very understandable grounds that Scott is underage, Scott's eyes glow a supernatural red. He growls at the terrified cashier, who sells him a keg so Scott won't murder him. En route to the party, Styles, who is a wild and crazy guy, surfs on the top of Scott's dad's hardware store van to the Beach Boys classic Surfin' USA. While driving the van, Scott catches a glimpse of his ears in the side view mirror and almost crashes the van when he sees they've grown points. The party features a lot of horny teenagers engaging in madcap pranks and sexual shenanigans, of the wrestling in your underwear while covered in whipped cream, or eating cubes of Jell-O that have been poured down the front of your busty classmate's shirt variety. All the high school parties I went to during this era were mostly of the sit in someone's basement rec room and watch Highlander on VHS variety. Scott and Boof are selected to spend 2 minutes getting it on in the closet. While making out with Boof, Scott becomes unnaturally aggressive, and Boof slaps him to get him to back the hell off. When they emerge from the closet, the back of Booth's shirt has been clawed to pieces. At home, a horrified Scott stares at his reflection in the bathroom mirror. He's beginning to grow fangs, his nails have become long and sharp, and his face and hands are now covered in fur. In other words, he's a werewolf. His dad tries to calm him down by revealing that he's a werewolf as well. It runs in the family. Harold tries to have a werewolf-to-werewolf chat with his son, but Scott is too freaked out to listen. In the morning, Scott has reverted back to his human form, but his animal magnetism lingers. At school, Pamela finds herself mysteriously attracted to Scott, much to the disgust of Boof. Scott breaks down in class from the pressure of trying to suppress his wolf traits, which keep threatening to emerge at inopportune moments. While hiding in the boys' bathroom, he's caught and harassed by the mean vice principal, Mr. Thorne, played by game show host Jim McCrell. After school, Scott reveals his teen wolf persona to Styles, who immediately starts thinking of ways he can exploit this to his advantage. When Scott spots Pamela in the bleachers with Mick during a basketball game, he growls in jealous anger and transforms into Teen Wolf, who who, as it turns out, is super good at sports. All the spectators take this surprising development in stride, and they cheer Teen Wolf on as he sinks basket after basket. Being a werewolf and a basketball star greatly increases Scott's popularity at school. We get a montage, set to Way to Go by Mark Vieja, of Teen Wolf basking in the admiration of his classmates, while Styles does a brisk business selling Teen Wolf merch. Scott's ego balloons, and he alienates his teammates with his nonstop grandstanding on the basketball court. Mr. Lolly doubles the cast of Pamela's one-woman show by casting Scott as a Union soldier who burns down Pamela's plantation and who happens to be a werewolf. After rehearsal, Pamela and Scott get it on in the dressing room. Later, Scott and Pamela go bowling together while Mick openly seethes from a nearby lane. Scott assumes this means he and Pamela are now a couple, but Pamela calmly explains that she's still Mick's girlfriend, even though she's been trying to make Mick jealous by openly boinking Scott on the side. Scott goes surfing on the top of Styles' new Wolfmobile, a truck painted with a custom wolf logo, because all of Beacon Town has gone crazy for Teen Wolf. Disgusted with Scott's show-offy antics, Harold sits his son down and warns him not to let Teen Wolf take over his life. According to Harold, Mr. Thorne was once in love with Scott's mom, and Harold turned into his wolf form to scare him off, and he still regrets losing control. Scott attends the big school dance as Teen Wolf. As soon as he walks in, all his classmates stop dancing and start clapping and cheering him on in a moment that greatly underestimates how disaffected and jaded Gen X teenagers were in 1985. Teen Wolf and Boof dance to Big Bad Wolf by Bunny and the Wolf Sisters, and we are treated to some splendidly awkward 80s dance moves. Boof convinces Scott to revert to his human form, and Mick, seizing the opportunity, immediately picks a fight with him. Scott turns back into Teen Wolf and attacks Mick, whereupon a triumphant Mr. Thorne immediately expels him. Harold arrives at the dance and terrorizes Mr. Thorne into agreeing to leave Scott alone. Scott is booted from the school play for refusing to perform as Teen Wolf. He also quits the basketball team because he feels he can't control himself in his wolf form. The championship game arrives. Once again, the Beavers are playing against the Dragons, and once again they are losing spectacularly. Scott arrives in the middle of the game to help his former teammates out. Everyone chants for him to turn into Teen Wolf, but Scott gives his teammates a pep talk about how they can win on their own, which is optimistic because we have seen plenty of evidence that the Dragons are just a whole lot better at playing basketball. While Mark Saffin performs Win in the End, the Beavers all come together and work as a team. There's a very long basketball sequence in which the Beavers all magically become much better at playing basketball thanks to Scott's pep talk, and in the closing seconds of the game, Scott sinks a pair of free throws to win the championship for the Beavers. Scott and Boof embrace, Pamela and Mick break up, and in the closing seconds, the film is totally hijacked by that one extra in the stands who jumps around and cheers while his pants are unzipped. Contrary to urban legend, you cannot see his wang in this scene. Believe me, I've looked. Prior to Teen Wolf, director Rod Daniel had worked exclusively in television, which makes a lot of sense. Teen Wolf has the look and feel of a 1980s made-for-TV movie. At the time of filming, Michael J. Fox was a well-liked sitcom star, known for NBC's Family Ties. By the time Teen Wolf wrapped, though, Fox had emerged as the clear breakout star of Family Ties. And then he stepped in to replace Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future, which everyone was pretty sure was going to become one of the biggest hits of 1985. To capitalize on Fox's growing fame, the release of Teen Wolf was delayed several months until just after the release of Back to the Future. And that made all the difference. Instead of fading into obscurity, this frivolous teen comedy became a surprise hit, raking in over 30 times its budget at the box office and launching a profitable and far-reaching franchise. The film has had plenty of staying power. Jerry Levine, Susan Yersity, Laurie Griffin, and Mark Arnold have plenty of other credits to their names, but they're each best known for Teen Wolf. A Teen Wolf cartoon aired in 1986, and there was a 1987 sequel, Teen Wolf 2. Michael J. Fox had decided having one Teen Wolf film on his CV was more than enough, thank you very much, so Jason Bateman took the reins, playing Scott's werewolf cousin. In 2011, the franchise got a big burst of new life when a dark supernatural drama based on the film aired for 6 seasons on MTV. One of the executive producers of MTV's Teen Wolf was Russell Mulcahy, who directed the 80s cult classic Highlander, which I've looked at here, as well as a slew of totally awesome Duran Duran videos, and Duran Duran's utterly bonkers sci-fi themed concert film Arena: An Absurd Notion, which I've also looked at here. The MTV series, while flawed, was actually a vast improvement on the film on virtually all levels. But that's not hard to do. Teen Wolf is goofily endearing, and if you grew up in the US in the 80s, this sort of teen-geared entertainment might seem very comfortable and familiar. But even if you regard Teen Wolf with a great deal of nostalgic fondness, you have to admit, it's pretty half-assed. There's a popular belief in Hollywood that no one sets out to make a bad film, and while there's probably some truth to that, I firmly believe no one involved with Teen Wolf set out to make a good film. The set design and lighting and cinematography are indifferent. The werewolf effects look like a Halloween costume. The characters are sketchily drawn. Teen Wolf is a comedy in that we're clearly not meant to take anything that happens in it seriously, but there aren't any solid jokes or uproarious gags in it. This is a film that doesn't try very hard to entertain its viewers. While I was rewatching Teen Wolf for this review, the part that made me come closest to laughing out loud was a throwaway moment in which Scott does an endless series of pratfalls down a freshly mopped school hallway. And it's only funny because Michael J. Fox is a natural-born entertainer with great timing and a gift for physical comedy. He's far and away Teen Wolf's greatest natural resource. The disproportionate success of Teen Wolf is due in large part to luck and to some clever strategizing on the part of whoever was in charge of scheduling its release date. But it's also due to Fox, who, through sheer force of personality, manages to transform this lightweight teen comedy into something pretty watchable. Next time, 4 kids go in search of a body in Rob Reiner's classic coming-of-age drama, Stand By Me. Thank you very much for hanging in there with me, and I will see you here later.